Thank you, Judy. You know, when she said the bathroom is over there, you know what that reminded me of? Not long ago, I was at a restaurant, and my friend said to the waitress, oh, my friend is visually impaired. I only need one menu. So the waitress came up to me, and in the loudest voice, she said, ma'am, I have a menu in Braille. So I said to her, excuse me, could you speak up a little because I'm blind? And she did. We live in a crazy world, right? But we have to have a good sense of humor. Yes, we do. Well, first of all, congratulations. Graduating is a great milestone. Felicidades a todos ustedes. Graduarse es un gran logro. Now, I know that no matter what you're planning to do when you leave this afternoon, you're going to want to be successful, yes? Absolutely. So that's what I want to talk to you about this afternoon. How to reach success. But not the kind of success that has anything to do with a bank account. But this kind of success that brings you the richness of life with meaning, with purpose, fulfillment, and confidence. See, success has three very important elements. All three begin with the letter A. And they are attitude, attitude, and attitude. I'm going to illustrate that with my own life. When I was 30, I lost my sight completely to RP. At that time, I was a happy mom of my 3, 5, and 7-year-old little boys. And when I came to accept my blindness, I decided to embrace one very important attitude. And that is that I would not allow my blindness to be an obstacle, but only a limitation that would allow me to spark my creativity. One day I was folding laundry, and a friend visited me, and she said, Janet, did you ever think about becoming a Spanish interpreter? And I thought, well, Spanish is my native language, why not? So I called the largest interpreting company in town, and they said I needed to come in and take a test. Good thing the test was oral. So I went there and did my best. The very next day they called me and said, Ms. Eccles, we're so impressed with your test, with the results of the test, that we want to send you to the Immigration and Naturalization Court tomorrow for your first assignment. Wow, I was ecstatic, I was flattered. One day I was folding laundry, the next day I was being an interpreter. Are you kidding me? So I put on my nice professional suit, my husband took me to the courtroom, and there I was sitting on a chair with my purse in my lap, my white cane in one hand, and I was waiting. And while I was waiting, I began to think, what are we doing here? I don't know the first thing about interpretation. I don't have the skills, I don't have the education, the experience, I have nothing. But you see, at that time, I didn't have all the things that one needs to be able to get the job done. But what I did have is an attitude to give it my all and do my very best. They called me in, I sat down. What I said in English, what I heard in English, I said in Spanish. What I heard in Spanish, I said in English. It's all I need to do. After a while, the judge hit the gavel and he said, we'll take a 10-minute recess. Phew, I thought. And then he said, Ms. Eccles, approach the bench. Oh my goodness. I went close to where he was and he said to me, Ms. Eccles, I want you to know that I am also bilingual and I'm very impressed with your level of accuracy and your professionalism. Wow, I came home, finished the session, of course. I came home, threw my purse on the couch. I called my mom, had her bring a bilingual dictionary. I think I memorized the whole dictionary in one sitting. I began to practice, to study, and to practice some more. Pretty soon I was rendering my interpretation services to criminal and civil courts. Then it was time for me to become a court-certified interpreter here in Florida. Now, in order to do that, I had to take a very rigorous test. Now back then, we didn't have screen readers, so I didn't even have a computer. I had not learned Braille, shame on me, right? But I was pretty much lost because that test had 4 difficult parts, including one of them was a written part. How will I do that? Now, of course, I could have said, excuse me, ADA regulations demand that you accommodate for my needs. I didn't say that. All I request is for someone to read me the written part, and I would figure out how to keep those choices, those multiple choices in my head to choose the right answer. I studied and I studied and I studied. I took the test, passed it the first time, and that's how I became the first blind person to be court certified in the state of Florida. But then Trouble was around the corner. I was hired by the largest over-the-phone interpreting company in the world. Because of my experience in the court, they hired me right away. They interviewed me over the phone. Now, I never told them I was blind because they never asked. And so they said, we need you to begin right away. No problem, I said. Are you kidding me? They offered services over the phone. That meant I could interpret from my home. I didn't have to go anywhere. It was like the perfect job for me. But then as I was waiting for my very first call, I started to think, what am I doing here? I don't know the first thing about taking notes, because in order to interpret on the phone, you have to take a lot of notes, and from your notes, render the interpretation to the other person on the phone. I didn't know Braille, didn't have a computer with a voice synthesizer. They had not invented it yet. How would I do that? That was an impossible task for me. But you know, when you have the I can do it attitude, nothing will stop me attitude. There is nothing in this world that's impossible. My phone rang, my first call. I picked it up, and I used my most courteous and friendliest voice I could. The person started to talk. He took a breath. I began interpreting. He spoke a little more. He took another breath. I began interpreting. I did the same thing with the person who spoke Spanish. I finished that call and did the same thing with the call after that, and after that, and after that. Months later, the company called me and they said, Janet, we're getting calls and letters from our clients. Well, what are they saying? I asked them. He said, well, out of all the interpreters in the company, you're the one who's providing the most prompt interpretation and the highest level of customer service, and we want you and your husband to fly to California to receive the Interpreter of the Year award. I've been blessed, truly blessed to have received more awards, one after the other, including the most prestigious and highest award of professional excellence, being the only blind person in a company worldwide. Well, by then, I got a computer with a screen reader, and you know what that means for us, right? Well, the company asked me to begin monitoring the performance of other interpreters. I said, absolutely. I didn't know how I was going to do it, because the form that they sent me, it was a very complicated form. I could not navigate through it. I couldn't figure out. And then, of course, I had a choice. Should I call the company and say, excuse me, I'm blind, and ADA regulations demand that you accommodate to my needs? Absolutely not. I said, somehow I'm going to figure it out, because you see, my blindness was not an obstacle, just a limitation for me to use my creativity. I had a sighted person read me what was on that form. I created my own form in Word, more detailed. I used that form to monitor the performance of other interpreters that I was observing. I sent the form in, they loved it, and began to use my form. Next, what they wanted me to do is to train other interpreters over the phone across the country and other countries. And I said, I'll be happy to. Thank you for that privilege. Absolutely. I've never taught in my life. I never trained anybody. How will I do it? I had no clue. Days later, I received in the mail this big, fat, heavy book. It must have had 1,000 pages. That was the manual I was to use to train these interpreters. How will I do that? Again, what was my choice? To demand they accommodate to me, or figure it out on my own? After I finished interpreting for that day, I began scanning that book. Hours and hours and hours of scanning. I got in the computer, I figured out what portions I was going to use to teach these interpreters. They gave me my first set of interpreters to train. I did my best. And they began sending notes to the company, telling the company how much they enjoyed my training. But it wasn't because of how much I knew. It wasn't because I had a degree in teaching. It was just the attitude, the positive attitude that I conveyed toward them over the phone that they appreciated. So much that we do doesn't really belong in a textbook or what others can do for us. It's what we hold inside. Now, all of you remember a few years back when companies were going through so many changes, many were going out of business. Well, my own company decided to outsource interpretation to other countries. That meant that everyone at my level was being laid off. We were being said goodbye. And when I emailed my boss, I said, is that true? He said, unfortunately it is, Janet, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. the job that I loved, the job that I was being awarded for, the one that I was doing so well was ending. But what was my attitude? Poor me. What am I going to do now? I'm blind. No. I figured there's going to be something else. Doors will open, and whatever it is, I'm going to keep doing my best. The next day, my boss called me on the phone, and he said, Janet, I'm so sorry. I said, listen, Helen, don't be sorry. It's not your decision. I know it's not you who decided to lay all of us off. He said, no, Janet, stop a minute. I want to tell you I'm sorry. I should have never sent you that email, because management of the company met, and this is what he said. We decided we cannot let our shining star go. Obviously, I'm still with the company. It's the attitude. You see, it's how you view your blindness, never an obstacle. Yes, a limitation, but you can use your creativity. And it's the same creativity that allowed me to, in addition to interpret, begin to write books. I wrote books, and one of my books was featured on Amazon. I was so excited until I learned that Amazon sells 7 million books. How will my little book titled Simply Salsa ever make it in this world? So what was my attitude, you think? I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to use my creativity, gather friends to help me, and it did. It worked, because Simply Salsa reached #1 on Amazon. Now my writing continued, 30 stories and Chicken Soup for the Soul, Guidepost magazines, and another thing came up, an opportunity to speak. So I began traveling across the country and other countries by myself, teaching so many to be able to see the best of life through a positive, enthusiastic, and healthy attitude. Because you see, success is not found in book certifications or degrees. Success is found in here, in your heart. It's the attitude you have that will set you apart from others. It will take you to higher places, and it will bring you the success that very few people have. Congratulations again. Thank you.